Okay, greetings, Patriots, Starseeds, Lightworkers, and of course our brave military. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. Now, I want to read you something here. It's the Digital Soldier Press, and it says the revaluation, redemption, and exchange tiers. Tier 1 is all governments. And the people that have been in the RV game and, listening and following the redemption updates will know what I'm talking about. So Tier 1 is the governments. Tier 2 is the whales elite with platforms of currencies such as corporations that are... Now, let's just straighten or clarify this. The corporations that are going to be around or still around have not done any nefarious bullshit. As I said in my last video, there is absolute thousands, and I mean, I don't even know how many, but I'm guessing between 30 to 40,000 corporations around the world that have been, their accounts have been frozen by the Global Alliance, and probably as they go further into the research or investigation of that particular corporation, it will be determined whether or not they get to keep their money or not. So, and if not, then of course it's going to go into the treasury. I want to say one thing before I move on to this tier 2 or tier 3, whatever. The Federal Reserve is a offshore, Rothschild-funded, unelected corporation. It's not anything to do with the American Republic, okay? And as you see, the gold is the Federal Reserve's biggest enemy. And the reason why I say that is because they're the ones, the Federal Reserve is the ones that had the printing machines and was just printing it like a bunch of drunken sailors. So and they were pushing this stuff out, right? So what we're at now, and where we're going with this, is that the gold that is starting to rise up, and basically all the precious metals markets are kryptonite to the Federal Reserve. This is what's going to dissolve them. And like it says, Jerome Powell is like a vampire with the light shining on him right now. Okay, so we move on to tier 3, which is the tier 3 is the admiral groups, American Indians, farmers, CMXKX, large church groups like the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints. Tier 4 is Tier 4 and Tier 4B. Tier 4A and Tier 4B is us, the internet groups. The Tier 5 is the general public. According to the 2013 Gold Treaty, the RV and the Nesara will be only happening when Mr. Cortell, that's Mr. C, when he comes on to Mark Z's quite often, and you'll have a good listen with him. So now we have will only be happening when Mr. Cortell or Cottrell, enters the codes of the new Treasury in Reno. The Treasury Reserve, or the Treasury Reserve, was all fenced off with security fencing by Commander-in-Chief, because he's protecting the constitutional money. Okay? The constitutional money is the gold and silver reserves. That's the kryptonite towards the Federal Reserve, which is a offshore entity. Okay, so you're seeing a huge battle going on between two titans. Now, Trump has said many times and has told Jerome Powell to step down or step aside and do whatever. Now, there's a war going on right now, and we're seeing that because the military has shut down all printing presses of the currencies, because it's basically just it's counterfeit money. That's what we're at right now. The U.S. dollar is counterfeit, and most of the currencies around the planet are counterfeit, because before, any country that did not have gold back in their currency or in their country was considered counterfeit. But a lot of the nations, including 77 nations that have gone into the BRIC, have applied their gold and silver and precious metal markets, or oil, or whatever oils or whatever they've got, into what their currency. They're backing it with their assets now. So they are gold back. So this is why you're going to see most of those countries that if you bought, say, dinar or any other type of currency that is part of the BRICS, will be revaluated to do trade. And this is where I believe this is where we're going to do well. Okay, so according to the 2013 gold treaties, the RV and Nesara will only happen when Mr. Cottrell enters the codes to the new treasury in Reno, Nevada. To truly know when it happens, here are the steps in the event. The U.S. military and Treasury go to Mr. Cottrell to enter the codes. He enters the codes, which starts the following events. The stock market derivatives around the world go to zero. So that's the crash. Okay? The EBS will sound off around the world. Martial law will be declared by militaries around the world. In the United States, U.S. corporation, which has already been dissolved, will be dissolved, and the 1871 Constitution with Admiralty equities, civil laws, will be dissolved. This has already been done behind the scenes. So there's a lot of stuff that has been already happened, okay, on this. Now, the U.S. Constitution of the 1791 and common law will be and is restored right now. That was restored on July the 4th, okay? So we're in it right now, and the gold treaty assets will be released at that point. Now, we have, the coffers and the treasury in Reno is filling up exponentially. Now, like I said, there's going to be a lot of bones to pick on what has taken place since 2016, and how many radical left-wing crazies have committed crimes against humanity, treason, sedition, and a whole list of other things that's going to come down, including countries that were involved in the 2020 election that was interfered with, namely China, Canada, Germany, Italy, Australia, I believe, was in it. MI6, right? Also out of England. These countries, like, Trump's going to send them a bill for what it costs the United States Republic, such as China. Okay? Now let me get into this a little bit. Actually, let me read this out. Okay? The RV and Nesara Gesara will be funded and begin. The emails in the United States from Wells Fargo will go out to the RV participants. Any truthers, this is a side condition, any truthers or influencers say anything different, they are providing you with disinformation, period. Okay? Now, let me get into this. The Chinese were directly involved because we know that they had sent over tens of thousands of militant or military age migrants coming through the U.S. border, as we all witnessed. They all had fake driver's license out of California, because California basically was supposed to be their depot drop-off point to basically invade the United States, was California, directed by the Governor Newsom. Okay, now Newsom and Bass are both been arrested, and you're watching clones or body doubles play their role. But the Chinese brought over, and they smuggled in millions and millions of copies of the election slips, and of course they were posted for Biden, and nothing was on Trump. So anyways, China's going to get a bill for everything, and the bill is going to be huge. And of course, what's the Chinese going to do? The Chinese are going to refuse to pay it, which is probably into the trillions of dollars. And of course, Trump is going to say, well, that's fine. We're just going to start seizing land that you have bought and purchased, without authorization, because you are a foreign entity. Because these laws of other people going into countries and buying land is not allowed. And I can attest that for myself. I mean, I've been buying land in the Philippines. I've bought three properties down there, and of course, too, I'm going to all three of them basically I have given up to the people that were born there, which are Filipinos, right? So, but and that's how it works. That's how it should work all over the world. Now, in order for me to, which I'm going to change, and I'll change this through court, because there is one law down there saying that, if you bought the land and you have proof of buying the land, then you can put that land into a trust fund, and, for your children or whatever, and whoever's on that trust fund will be the executor of that piece of property. That's how that works. And it should go the same way in the United States as well. But being that everything's said here, all the suspects and suspect countries that were involved that had cost, the 2020 election, will be getting a huge bill from Commander-in-Chief and the U.S. Republic. And if they can't not pay it, then the United States has the legal right to go in there and seize whatever available that they see fit to clear up the debt. This fight is, I know everybody's struggling with this, but this fight is far from over. And you're going to see a lot of shit and a lot of hammers come down, and it might get very, very dark in a lot of cases. This is why I'm saying just move on with your life, until all this gets cleared up. But in the end, no matter how dark it gets, we're going to come up on top of everything. And it will get, maybe as it gets darker, that's when the EBS will kick in. And of course, then the monies and the gold reserves will start being released to the people of the United States and get them up and running. Now, the people that are holding currencies, they're going to be just fine as well, because, as the currencies around the world start revaluating, and if you have those currencies, of course, you're going to be you're going to benefit from them as well. Excuse me. Gold and silver and all these other reserves that are happening, they're starting to move up too. So it's not just a store of wealth anymore. It's a investment. Okay. That being said, my time is up, and we will see you on the next one.